A friend of mine, I'll call her Marie, got a call from a woman she cares deeply about. I'll call her Joanne. Joanne had been living with a chronic, quite painful illness, one with no cure, and she called Marie to tell her she had just tried to end her life. And she asked if Marie could help her. It's quite a call to get. Marie's response was calm, thoughtful even. She told Joanne that she owned her own life, that Marie would support whatever she chose, that going to a hospital would strip her of agency, and that certainly she was happy to take Joanne there if that's what she wanted. Joanne said she needed to think on that for a little bit and that she'd call Marie back. She did call her back about 20 minutes later, thankfully, and she said, "Please take me to the hospital." Now, I want to pause on that story because Marie was well intentioned. She was calm. She was non judgmental about a topic that a lot of people would have clear judgments about. And yet, she still made a serious mistake. Here's what was actually happening in that phone call. Marie was projecting. She's older, she's independent, she fiercely values autonomy over her own end of life. And with Joanne's illness as a backdrop, that projection would be understandable, but without realizing it, she filtered a crisis through her own values. Now, this is not a moment for personal philosophy. This is not a values conversation. And critically, you are not a clinician equipped to assess lethality in real time. There's another trap here too, wanting to stay liked because how could it not come up as a friend? Wanting to be the one who got it, who didn't overreact, who respected her friend. That instinct, however warm, is the wrong instinct in this moment. The right move, after a brief grounding conversation, call for help. Call the police, call a family member who can physically get to that person, get them to a hospital for evaluation. Now, why does this happen in the first place? In our research, interviewing high-functioning professionals who have been through serious mental health crises, one theme surfaces over and over, and that is suicidal ideation is almost always about control, in situations where that may be the only control you have. My co-author Jocelyn Davis describes it in her own account, and I describe it in mine. When you are in overwhelming psychological pain and the sleep won't come and nothing is working, suicidal ideation becomes a form of relief. I can always leave. It's a pressure valve. Proof that even in the most out of control moment of your life, there is one door that belongs entirely to you. Understanding this matters because it tells you when someone is in this place, they're not operating from the rational, future-oriented part of their brain. Now, they may sound cogent, they may be articulate, and even, and this is the rub, reassuring to you, "I'm fine. Hey, don't worry. Don't overreact." I mean, who wants to have their agency taken away from them? And especially women do this. Women are socialized to manage other people's anxiety, even when they are in crisis themselves. But do not be fooled by composure. So, what do you actually do? Two failure modes to avoid first. Severe underreaction, that was Marie's mistake, and severe overreaction, panicked, catastrophizing, so visibly dysregulated that the person shuts down and wishes they'd never called. What you want is a right-sized response. Here's what that looks like. First, make it okay to talk about. Ask directly. How often are you thinking about this? Do you have a plan? Do you have the means to carry it out? Asking these questions does not plant ideas. That's what people might think about that. It does not. Research is clear on this. It opens a door and reduces shame. Second, take action without asking permission, by the way. Get someone to that person physically. Don't ask for if they want it. You just do it. Police, a family member, a neighbor, get them to an evaluation. And when they say you're overreacting, because they will probably, say, "I hear you. I'm still making the call." Third, remind them that severity does not predict duration, and that's important. The intensity of this pain is not a preview of the rest of their life. A lot of people will fall into that. I mean, most people, I did. Jocelyn did. Their brain right now cannot see that, but yours can. Say it out loud. Now, here's the thing I want to leave you with, and I mean this from personal experience, however deep. that went I went through 3 major depressive episodes in my 20s. They were long ones. They lasted about a year on at a shot. I didn't know why they were there. It took me a long time to figure out the why. These were the kind that don't lift quickly, and they don't make sense from the outside. I have not been in that place since, thankfully, but decades later, looking back, I've come to wonder if that was exactly what a wiser part of me, needed to put in my path, because I think it did what it was supposed to do. I think it changed me in ways I couldn't have engineered consciously and certainly wouldn't have chosen. And that tracks with something virtually every major spiritual tradition across cultures, across centuries describes: a period of existential darkness is necessary for the kind of deep human transformation that honestly very few people ever achieve. But you could get some of that with those events. The dark night of the soul, it's the descent before ascent, the fire you have to walk through. Getting very close to the edge of one's life and then coming back is not something to be ashamed of. For many people, it becomes the pivot point of their entire existence, the before and after, the thing that cracked them open enough to become genuinely different, more peaceful, more integrated as a human being, more resilient than they ever could have been on another path. And here's the catch: you have to get through it. You have to not take a step that can't be undone. So if this is someone you love, or if this is you, the job is not to judge the darkness. It's to make sure the person survives it long enough to come out the other side. And if you help someone do that, well, you'll have made a friend for life. You will be their angel, and you will have touched something in yourself that won't shrink back. Suicidal people don't need you to be unflappable. They need you to be brave enough to act, even when acting means they might be angry with you tomorrow. Take the step, make the call, trust the alarm inside of you. That's not overreacting. That's love with a spine. See you next time.